All right, here we go. I'm going to plunge right into the Blender and the Roblox work that we've been doing. And this is not where I want to be. I want to be here. Yeah, because I've learned about a new plugin that really excites me. And so let me first go to my Roblox studio. These are failed attempts that I want to remove. And eventually I got to get rid of. That's when I was demonstrating in class why it didn't work. And now I have one that is better. So I'm going to open that up. And so we had this model here that we were building of the Akrich Cemetery Nursery. But this part here we hadn't really gotten to. And I can actually get rid of whatever this mausoleum is because I'm not going to model it in Roblox like I did yesterday because I want to model it in Blender because I've learned about a new, and get rid of this too, mausoleum. So the time I spent here, I'll just get rid of. And I want to model these in Blender. And even these buildings over here also, I'm going to probably model in Blender rather than Roblox because of a new plugin that I've learned about. And let me see, I put it in my Facebook. And let's see where I put it. Here I'm complaining about being one of the very few professors of sustainability who is and has been actively exploring and working with VR and AR as a game-changing educational tool for building sustainable futures. Look, folks, if I can do it, you can do it because I'm like old, according to young people, and this was not my ballywick. But I'm learning as I go, learning as fast as I can. And let's see. And I always store things in Facebook. So there it is. A free Blender plugin from Roblox that lets you update. I love RoBuilder. He's wonderful. I'm a subscriber now, and I had already liked it, and I've already subscribed. Great stuff. So the GitHub for it, it appears, is there. And we'll just download the zip. And then I'm going to open the folder where that zip is. And instead of keeping it in downloads, I'm going to cut the zip and I'm going to put it in my shapefile exports in my GIS Morocco project. So we'll paste this in here. And you don't unzip a plugin for Blender, in case you haven't seen my previous Blender through Blenders. I'm always installing these plugins, just like with QGIS, I'm always installing plugins. So you go to Edit Preferences, and in the new version, don't be fooled, you can't find what he says in his video. He's going to tell you about how to install the plugin, and it would have been right for the previous versions of Blender. But the new Blender, 4.2, and I assume above, you have to go to Get Extensions and then click over here and do Install from Disk. Okay? And I'm not sure why they did that, but they did that. And it's in this folder here, and it's Roblox Blender, and I will install it from disk. Then you do what you used to do after you have pulled that in. Then you put add-ons and you make sure it's checked and see if there's any any things you want to change. Now look, interestingly, it has this export scale defaulting to 0.01, which is what I've been doing all along in each of my Blenders through. So it looks like that was the preferred procedure for getting Blender files into Roblox. So that's good to know. It gives us confidence. Key all bones if we were baking the animation. But we're not baking animation. But since there isn't any animation, it shouldn't affect anything to just leave those there. So I guess that's all. Sampling rate and simplify is there. Okay, so let's save our preferences. Now, I've never used this before, so there it is. It shows up on the right. All right, and install dependencies. This plugin is required first time to run. This requires installation of dependencies the first time it's run, so let's install those dependencies. Now maybe because I'm in my Roblox studio here and I'm already signed in, maybe that will automatically populate. We'll find out. And since it seems to be taking a while, I'm going to put you on pause. And I'll take you off of pause. This is taking a long time, but I want to make sure I grab this because I made these before in Blender. Let me hit G and, oh, this is is this the one that we moved? No, this is before we moved everything. I do believe that it was in scene that we aligned everything, and it looks like it caused some distortion, but I probably should, just to make things easier, I learned that everything should be rotated so that you have your buildings along an axis that really works for you. So I would want to take this and rotate everything like this. And since I can't see through it, take the alpha down, but nothing happens because I'm doing multiple stuff. All right, well, let's just eyeball it. So we want to bring this down like so. One way I can definitely do it is by doing GZ and bringing it under the line. I guess I have to bring it. No, it doesn't even do that, does it? Huh. Too bad. Maybe we go like this. There we go. All right, so rotate this so that the wall that you want to use, and I guess I will use this wall here, that is lined up along the x-axis. And that you sort of have the center. That's going to really help things out. And then move this thing up to the 0 line. Because the more I've found that you keep everything centered, the better off you are. Now that cube down there, that's what I've been using as a Boolean. So let's just move it up in the air so we don't forget about it. All right. There's that. So now, installation complete, restart Blender to continue, so I better save this. And let's restart Blender. So Blender, close, and let's restart. So we were having fun with this last night, about 1 in the morning. And while it isn't perfect, it was nice that we're able to populate this with stuff. It's funny that the tomatoes all fell off the vines. Don't know why that is. Fountain is sprinkling. Gravestones are there. Might have to work on those. Lettuce, some bushes. And I'd even gone inside and, pure speculation, I had gone in and put some trees in the greenhouse with some lights and a spinning fan. So I have no idea if anything looks like this in the real world. I'd also gone in and I'm assuming these are greenhouses. And put in some more trees because this is supposed to be a tree nursery. The thing I've made up that doesn't exist in reality is a staircase to the roof, and look at how that piece there fell over. That's really shaky. Oh no. And the solar panels are shaky too. Boom. I think I'm going to make it so you can pick up the solar panels in the game. I think that'd be fun. And then the other thing I put in here that I thought was really fun besides vegetation, and I need to put more of that in, is I put in a car. But I don't like the car because it makes noise. And while kids may like noise, using fossil fuels is a really bad idea, and it's got so many problems. If we keep using fossil fuels, we're just going to be driving our civilization right off the cliff. So we don't want that. Oh, and look at that. That piece there was falling down too. So you have to make sure when you're doing Roblox that you anchor stuff. So for example, this platform needs to have the anchor put on it. I'm going to call this platform. You should name everything. Platform. And then we need to make sure that this is anchored. This is like, can't get that to click. Building unknown. So I don't know what that building is, but it should be anchored so that it doesn't fall over. All right, so that's what we got. Now that's not going to happen. All right, so let's save that. It's Roblox. Now Blender's up again, and we can open this, and the Roblox plugin is there, and you have to log in. So we will log in, and it says you're logged in. Okay. Requesting access. That's the account that I want. And right assets, low. Risk level. All right. Let's see if there's other. Okay, there's only one page, and it's just me. All right, so we can say continue. Confirm and give access. And it'll redirect me black to Blender. This should be pretty awesome because now you can select, and you don't have to do that normal thing that we do of going to File and then going to Export and then going to FBX, which by the way is way preferred to OBJ because of the way that it breaks down models, and doing selected objects and then setting this to 0.01. All that sort of stuff that we were doing, and the tutorial, the Blender through that I did last night can now simply be done through this. So let's see how this really speeds up the workflow. And let me move this guy over there. So I want to grab these, and not you. I want to grab these and shift click this and this. And I had these in, now you see because I lined it up, I can go GX. That, I want to lock you. You need to be locked. Lock. Lock. Thank you. Lock. Right. So that's all locked. So now when I select this, I'm not going to end up inadvertently selecting my background. So I'm going to grab all of this, and I want to G and exit and move it where it belongs. And it does look like these got slightly out of alignment, so I'm just going to move them to where they belong. And this has to then go down. So does this. I mean, they all have to go down, or at least these. And so I think these are graves, I believe. Ooh, yeah, that's bad, isn't it? Look at that. Look at how icky angled they are. Because when I originally set this up, I had decided to use a digital elevation map from the region using QGIS. And I might as well boot that up to show you. I decided to abandon all terrain information because it was making it so hard to get into Roblox. And if you've got easier ideas, not to waste hours and hours trying to get terrain information in, please let me know, because the easiest thing I found is to flatten the landscape, use the terrain tools if you want to put in mountains later, but start with a flat map that you're building off of. It's even distorted anyway, looking from above, because of the satellite view. So I'm not a big fan anymore of bringing in the DEM information. And, you know, so when I started that, it was, oh, look at that, it's so ugly. But fortunately, you can do a lot of this. Now that we've aligned this to X, Y, and Z, you can keep only that Z rotation, and everything else you can just zero out, which hadn't been the case before. Now, I don't know if you can zero out a bunch of stuff or not. Let's see if it works. Oops, not Z. No, it doesn't work. So, and you can rotate like this, but I think we're better off in this case by just coming in and taking X and Y and setting them to 0, just straightening them out that way, and then we'll bring them down. So it takes a few more seconds, but they each individually have to be done. And they were on a wicked angle. So there, I think they're all done. This one here again has that wicked angle. Again, trying to match stuff up to a non-flat landscape. And I can see why the flat earthers are so determined to prove their case, because they're probably all Roblox developers who are really mad that the world is curved and uneven. But the curvature is like maddening. And then uneven is maddening too. I mean, everything should be Euclidean. The Bauhaus and Le Corbusier brutalist architects, you know, they really knew what was going on, and we're just engaging in folly by not following their lead. All this stuff about nature and its curves, and nature is like a woman, and you know, we want things that are legible and can be put on easy maps and don't take much thinking. I mean, things to be neat and ordered. Even this, I mean, who made this? It should be, and I'm not actually going with reality now. I'm idealizing by moving these things, because I don't think they actually look like that. They probably are more organic shapes, whatever they are. This one here is also tilted at an undesirable angle. So I'm redoing a lot of the stuff I wasted days doing when I was working with undesirable angles. And now I can bring this down to, I mean, you can actually literally bring it down to 0 here now, because we made the landscape zeroed out. So we don't have to mince words here. We can just say, hey, you're down on the ground now. Oh, no, not that way. Not that way. All right. So let's go with these models for a second. We'll select all of those, including all of this, but we're keeping them separate. We could make a group out of them, but because I want color control in Roblox, and I'm not putting in the texture, the colors from Blender, I'm not going to, idiot. Let's do this again. Let's try that again. So I want everything to have a different possible color, so I'm keeping them separate objects. Now go to Roblox, and we'll tell it to upload. Yeah, so select at least one object. I did. What do you think that is? That is selected at least one object, you twit. Right, I don't get it. Select at least one object. I did. Why is it not? Ah, lordy. That should be right. It's acting like it isn't selected here. So, to you, let's try now. There we go. It's because I had a search going on. So don't be stupid like me and get confused because you've not cleared things out. Let's get the rest of these. Yes, I know I can use the C button and I can select. I just didn't want to inadvertently select the landscape. It looks like I haven't. So that's all I want, just those pieces there to be brought in, and I can say upload. They have names, but I'm not worried about that now. And what happens? I just clicked upload. Aha! Upload status says it's uploading. So says it uploaded a version. Right? I guess that's it. I guess now it's time to go into here and see if they got uploaded. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they did. My models. I don't see them. I don't see them. So this is weird. Like, I don't know where they would have been uploaded to. It says they go to user, and I'm there. I don't see anything that suggests that they were uploaded. I know I have to clean this stuff up because I've got to put my trees in trees. Go to this folder and say tree organization is the only way to make this work. And sometimes I get sloppy. Or is that all the time I get sloppy? I'll do bush. Oops. Use the shift key for that. And make that a folder. Power ceiling light flower bush. Nonetheless, this isn't helping me figure out where the stuff came. Flower bush. Flower bed. Flower bed. Isn't it good? Flower bed. I'm going to put this on pause while well, I'm mystified because it doesn't show up in my asset manager under meshes. There's nothing there, and there's nothing under packages, and there's nothing under models. So if it's not there, then maybe I have to restart Roblox Studio, and let's go back to Blender. I hesitate to log out because if I upload once again, it says there's an add-on error, whatever that means. Okay, so the add-on error is not good. Let's log out. Let's log in again. And by logging in, we are now selecting, and we are continuing. Confirm and give access. It says we can close this now. And now if I try it, the question is, where's it going to upload to? It says it's uploading. But to what? So it says it uploaded, but I'm not in anything in there. So let me open up Roblox Studio and see. Must be some procedure that is not obvious. And if I go to my recent experiences, and I look under meshes, nothing. All right, so obviously I'm not doing something correctly. Let me log out again. Let me log in again. Let me continue. Let me select the account and continue, but why doesn't it let us know what area we want to load stuff into? Let me see what it says here. When this guy does it,
you can type in your search, click the zip file plugin. Thanks, logging in because I already clicked it. and then I closed out of it to do this video. But here we go, logging in. It's
He
gonna
logged
pop
in.
up straight to your account page and just click continue. Hopefully this has no personal information. But right here, you want to give this permissions. So obviously to my account, yes. And then I'm going to also select the groups that I still work in. Little Big Studios and My Bike Life. Now right here, Roblox does warn us, permissions upload as this is a moderate risk level, and then all the other risk levels are low. But as far as I'm aware, this was made by Roblox. If we go to the dev forum post, which I will also link down below in the description, it's made by Roblox staff. So I have no reason not to trust this plugin. Hey Blender, upload to Roblox requesting access, and we're going to confirm and give access. There we go. You can now close this window, and let's head back to Blender. So check this out. Right here in our window, if this did go away, just press N on the keyboard again, we can select where we want this to go. So let's go ahead, just select my name, and let's go make a new place on Studio. Alright guys, so we have our cube and we have our plugin. Let's go ahead and probably just the cube. We're going to rename this cube test, and then we have a cube test. Right here is our selected objects, and we're going to go ahead and click upload. Right here it says upload, which takes just a couple seconds, but now it has switched to uploaded. Now we're going to go over to Studio, go to the toolbox, and then click on My Packages in this drop-down menu. Then we have right here, this is the cube in object called
My Packages. All right, well, let's try that. So if we don't go to My Models, but My Packages, there they are. All right, well, that was the mistake. I didn't even know there was a My Packages. I'd always been using My Models, My Plugins, My Audio, My Decals, My Mesh Parts. There's this My Packages. Now everything is in there, all those parts. So, yikes. Where did they even go? So the icosphere is way up there. Oh, there it is down there. It's not too far away. But can you select them all? Like I've got icosphere 7 twice. I don't need that. So this may be one dumb way to do it. But we'll find out. So there's icosphere 7, there's icosphere that one, and that one, and that one. They're just stacking up on top of one another. Cube. There's that, there's that. Looks like they're all coming in around the same place. So this is not really convenient, is it? Oh, golly. All right, so I don't like this at all. I'm really not digging it because I'd have to do a lot of work to move them all in. So goodbye to all you, and the cubes as well. I mean this cube that I brought in, this cube, and this cube. They kind of bite. All right, so can I even get rid of these, or are they like stuck in my world? Ah, lordy, you can view in browser. I didn't want to bring all this crap to my browser. I want to get rid of it, and it's not going to let me get rid of this stuff. That's one of the things I don't like about this, is that it ends up being in your browser, and you don't want it to be. And I, oh darn it. Okay, that's not fun. Delete from inventory. Maybe I can delete it. It was removed. All right, so models, categories. Where's my models? Plugins, audio, mesh parts. Like it puts this in, and to me this has never been clear, like how Roblox organizes all that. Because if I want to get rid of any of these, I gotta keep, I'd have to do every single one of these to delete it from my inventory. Like, that's awkward. It's in models, and if you go to settings, no, oh boy, It's even like the stuff that I want to get rid of here. Like, I want to get rid of these old ones, and it doesn't let me do it, which really annoys me. And you go to Roblox Studio. I don't want to do that, actually. No, stop. Yeah, my experiences shared with me, development items. It's not. Oh, there they are. Okay, so all those. See, I can't delete them. You have to open up each and every one, and only then. See, still can't get at it. You just can't easily get rid of this stuff. It tells us it was uploaded from Blender. Why will it not let us do it? If you open it in the Creator Store, then and only then can you get rid of this. I wonder what he does. Does he actually make it go to there? Because that's going to drive me nuts.
And go to Auto Update. Now check this out, guys. I'm going to make Studio take up half. And if we go into this Studio, go to the toolbox and then click on My Packages in this drop-down menu. Then we have right here, this is the cube test that we just did. And if we go into C links, we're going to click on that and go, so I'm going to make Studio take up half of the script, this snowman blocks. But check this out, if we just click upload again, watch what happens.
So it doesn't give any clear indication that there is a way to do that. And it loaded a bear in. Isn't that interesting? Like, why is there a bear? I didn't ask for a bear. So now I have in my packages, I got all these things that I just don't want in there. And I guess I'm going to have to go to each one. And I'm going to have to, so if I go package details, it won't let me.
Hello.
Hello. Haha.
I tricked you, Daddy.
You did trick me. Yeah, it looks like the only way I can deal with any of this is to keep going in and deleting it.
I tricked you that I was in the living room.
You did. I didn't know you were there. And now it's taking a long time to do that. So I'm annoyed with this. Very annoyed with it. And not sure the best way to go about this. I do think now, having seen that everything here should be loaded as a single model. So that means, but then you'd have to join it all. See, this is getting really problematic.
Today
Yeah.
I'm
Well, we'll try it anyway.
Daddy, today my toys and me are going on a holiday in Candyland.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to call this Mausoleum. And now I will upload Mausoleum. And it says it was uploaded. So when I go to here, I should find Mausoleum.
Daddy, my toy Ginger and Red Swan
Well,
wanna come with me in Candyland.
I do.
Yeah.
Let's see if Mausoleum came in.
Because my toy Gingerbreads live
Nothing?
in Candyland, Daddy.
They live in Candyland.
Yeah.
Wow. Go back to my models, and then let me go to my packages and see if Mausoleum came in. And it didn't.
Daddy, can you play Candyland with me?
Nope.
You've never done that.
I know. So I'm not finding Mausoleum.
Daddy,
Yes.
you want...
So the only thing I can think is that I'll have to close out of it again and then relaunch it. And once I'm logged in, I will come into here again, reconnect to the server, see if it has the mausoleum in here. Instead, it's got all these parts again. Like a mazillion of them. Rather than the mausoleum. There's nothing. Well, maybe it's in there and I just can't find it. Oh. What then? And now there's nothing. Like, I don't understand this at all. So there's my models and then my packages. And there's nothing that says mausoleum. So I guess I'm just going to try to erase everything from here and start over. Alright, well, I did find that if I go to the Creator Hub, and if I go to my dashboard, and then I go to Development Items, Models and Packages, then I can see everything that I have uploaded, and the mausoleum just came in. So that should mean that when I open up my experience, I should see that available. So it was a bit maddening. I restarted Blender and restarted Roblox Studio, and I'm just not convinced that this yet is the way I want to go, but let's find out, because I want to get over to this area here. That's where I would like it to load. And if I now go to my packages, it's there, but it says Icosphere instead of Mausoleum, which is really weird. Like, why does it do that? Why does it say Icosphere? Anyway, if I drop that in and rotate it, for one thing, the pivot point is way off. So let's snap that pivot point onto there. And then let's rotate, let's go to rotate and rotate it. And let's move it back. And of course it's floating in the air. Yeah, I hate the way that the pivot points just really don't come in nicely on this. So, like, why? Like, why is it going up there and not straight up and down? And how do you edit the pivot points so that it goes up and down? Oh, I guess I just did. Yeah, I guess it's interesting. So now I need to scale this way up. And normally what you would do is you'd come in here and then change the scale to 10 there. And then move this up. So that's not terrible. But, you know, I mean, it's still not perfect. So I guess a lot has to do with these pivot points. I mean, if we put the pivot point on the model like that, I guess we're getting somewhere. It's not as horrible as I thought. And of course, because of the distortion, the thing is not going to work very well. The other thing is it's missing a piece. Because I believed that I'd put a building under it there. Yeah, I'd put a building. So it did not update like I thought. So let me save this. Click off of that. Click on this again. These should be part of the same object. So if I hit Control J, now they're part of the same object. And so what happens if I then update it? That's supposed to be the magic of this, that you can keep updating the selective object as long as you don't change the name. Then it's supposed to be version 2, and then it's supposed to update in here, but will it? It did. Well, no, it didn't. I just clicked on that again, so that's not updating. So the promise of this was that it would update automatically. I think I understand why. You have to go to your package link, and you have to say auto update. So that's crucial. And the same thing here, maybe? No. So it would be only under the package link, which gets auto updated. And that is also the other mausoleum, not this icosphere. So I actually loaded in the wrong model. Let me get rid of that. It was the mausoleum model. This one here, that is supposed to be auto updated. And I do need to put the pivot point in the right place and then scale it up to 100 roughly. 101. I guess that'll do. And let me move it up. All right, we're getting better now. Getting better. Rotate this still. It needs to be rotated like this. And all right. So supposedly, what will happen now? If I can get this thing in the landscape. So that's not accurate, but we'll do that. So you see how these things are floating above. If I can get this on the ground, and I don't know what's going to happen with the color or the material, but I'll try a material made of granite. Modifying package disables auto update. Oh. Okay, so we won't do that. So I'm going to go to the auto update and go back into Blender now and make sure that these parts are modified down. The idea being that you can edit in Blender and then it will auto update there. So if I grab these, and I do need to go into transparent part if I want to get them all. Should have gone this way. Oops. How do you get rid of something? There you go. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Arr! Sometimes it can drive you nuts. I want to be able to get just these things. And then go to everything L linked or select similar, select linked. There we go. And then take this and bring it down. And I may need to get into this mode to be able to see that. Bring it down like that. And the same thing would be done with this. If I go to select linked, then I should be able to bring that down. And then for the whole model, if I were to take that whole model and set the origin to the geometry, then when I re-upload it, because they're linked, let's see what happens. It says it's uploading, and it's uploaded. Now, it was supposed to update, and I'm not seeing an update. It says updatable. No. That's not good. Oh, shoot. So it's not updating for some reason. Let's try this again. Go into Mausoleum, go to package link. Because it wasn't on auto update. So now it's on auto update. And what good does that do? It's on auto update and it disappeared.
You want to go get some watermelon? This is mine.
Oh, it did auto update, but it auto updated way over there with a weird point. So I see some problems with the tool, but at least I see some potential because it did auto update it and it kept the size, so that's good. All right, well, the next thing to do is to see if, let me just rotate this a bit. And go back this way. All right, so now the thing I'm going to try is what happens if I update the material. I want to still rotate this just a bit. And bring this down. If this auto update feature is really working when we look at the package as auto update, then I should be able to do all sorts of changes here in Blender, including changing the material. So if I put on here a texture, like an image texture of a mausoleum. So let me go and get mausoleum, or better yet, let me go to Akrich Nursery and see if there's anything I can pull off of there. So we're going to go here and see if there's any images. We see the color of the wall outside. We see something in here. Oh, that's what that top is. Fascinating. And there's the greenhouse. So there's some cobblestone there. Fascinating. Okay.
With his doggies. Has lots of colors.
But what if I were to grab something like this as the color? So if I were to go in here and snip a piece of the wall like that and save it as Morocco wall texture. And now go into here and say that we want to use an image for this that would be Morocco wall texture. Okay. So then go to materials and delete that material. Now all of it is that texture for now. Otherwise, it's not bad to have, let me go to edit and, oops. This is what we want to edit. I really hate the way, I just want to get that and and that, and that, and then go to select linked. Okay, I have that. And then I pick the greenhouse material and assign it to that. Alright, so I have that. This material here, I'm going to change the base color to a kind of greenish. And it would look like that. I just want to see what that looks like when we update. So if we upload this, it says it's uploading, and we wait and it's uploaded, and we come back here, it did it, and it put it over there. Okay, so it keeps dropping it over, far over, because it doesn't like my pivot point. And I don't know how to save that pivot point. And also it took a texture only. So if I can't use the pivot point there, what is the pivot point that it is using? Like, why is this pivot point way up in the air and way over to the right? What is it about that that makes that pivot point way over here to the right? And in Blender, the pivot point, I mean, the point is right there. Maybe it's because it's not at the center. It's like, is it acting as though it's in reference to the center line? And that's pretty bizarre. And here we have the, maybe we have to apply transform. Maybe we need to say all transforms, but then see, it does put it way over there. So that is a problem. So if you set the origin to the geometry and it goes there, and then you apply that transform, it keeps jumping back over to the right. So something has to be done where that has to be not applied. And the other thing is, it's doing a base color thing. What if I want this to be an environment texture? Ooh, I don't like that. Maybe let's put had to honey. Just want to see what that does in there. And let me upload. Go back. Still is package link is still auto update, but it hasn't auto updated, and the point is still over there. Yeah, it's really bizarre. It says it's updatable, but it's not updating. So it's like it kind of ignored. If it did update, it completely ignored what I did here in terms of that material. And it's only using this texture here. So if I were to add another texture to this, if I were to say, okay, fine, I want to use a greenhouse cloth texture, like that. What does that do? If I save it and then upload with that center point. It says it's uploading version 6. Yeah, now it's staying in the right place. So that's promising. So I guess I can go and find a better texture. I need to have a big wall, so I have to keep this here and go Moroccan wall or mud wall. And then we get some mud wall textures. I like that. So if we take this and if we can get it to load in the slow internet. Let's take this wall here. This will be interesting. Save as mud wall. And let's go back to Blender. And let's go to mud wall. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And let's upload that. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, so that's kind of cool. Then what we're seeing is that even though the point is still way the heck over there, at least it's loading the textures and updating as long as I do all my manipulations from there. If I move the point over, then it messes up pretty radically. And that is something that we'll have to figure out, like why does it do that? Why will it not? See, it just keeps jumping back to there no matter what I do. And there's supposed to be a way to fix that, I thought. And if you do object set origin to geometry, how do you fix that? Set origin. It's still the same thing, so it doesn't apply. Yeah, it's because if I go to Control A and I say apply transforms, then it just jumps right back to there. So that's a problem. Maybe I'll just look it up. Well, let's try something that I've learned here now. I'm going to join all these together now. And I'm going to go to Object, Set Origin to Geometry. But what I will do is when I hit Control A to bake it in, I won't do all transforms. I'll just use rotation and scale and hope that that works for this. Now this is now known as Cube 20, and I'm going to make it Mausoleum because that left. And that says Mausoleum 1, so where's Mausoleum 2 then? Mausoleum, there isn't any. So Mausoleum 1, that's just what it's called. Alright, so it's rewritten the name. I guess that's because inside here there was a cube that was called Mausoleum, but it's no longer relevant, I guess. So, it really doesn't want it. And that may be because in Roblox there was this thing called Mausoleum. And so it's not going to let us replace it. I really don't understand, though, how come. Because they're all part of a new Mausoleum structure. So maybe we'll have to leave it as Mausoleum 1 and have a new upload and then do updating from there. This material here we can delete. We don't need this material here. Oops. We don't need this material, this mud wall. This one here had the honey thing, so we don't need that. Everybody's now the mud wall, and let's try this now and see where that center piece goes. So we've uploaded it, and it's going to be hard to tell until it comes through. It says version 1 of Mausoleum 0.01 is now here. I've noted that sometimes it just takes a while to show up in my packages. And hard to know when we go back out to Creator Hub and go to the dashboard and go to the development items. There's Mausoleum 1. I wish I could get rid of that, but I don't think I can. It's one of the things that really annoys me. Well, maybe delete from inventory. So we don't need that anymore. Now let's come back into here, and is it going to update is the question. So that's Mausoleum. There should be a Mausoleum 1, and it doesn't show up. There it is, Mausoleum 1. All right, so we bring that in. We can get rid of this. Take this. Again, the origin is way far away, which really bothers me. To about 100. And let's rotate it. And let's move. So this origin point issue is disturbing. I guess we're going to have to do all this manually. And obviously, these pieces are not going to work because we don't have things made properly. So I think here's where we have to start thinking about departing from the model and rebuilding. We do need to bring this straight, and then we have to make the walls work according. The problem is I've got everything based on this, of it being not straight. So, I mean, while I can come into the wall and alt-click on this and rotate it, I could start doing this kind of thing, but it's a real royal pain. But if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do, and depart from the landscape a little bit so that we can get the models to correspond more with what reality would be. But even this now, it's you see, it's just wrong, and I can't really go in, and there's nothing to pick in here. So that's just going to mess us up. So probably then what we want to do is take things out of here. If we're going to try to stay with this model, then while this does line up in here, they've got to be separate for us there. And I'm not even sure why. Like, why, when I get a really nice look there, why can't this map be the map that we use? If I use this map instead, what if I bring that in? That one is locked. Now I can select it. Don't mind locking it after doing that. What if that Akrich plane is now uploaded to Roblox? That could be interesting. Let's see. Let's upload that Akrich plane. Because it's much more squared than the image that we were using. So, did it upload? Yes. Alright, so let's come in here and let's say that this Akrich plane, which is this one here, if we want to make that invisible, I don't really want to delete it at this point. I do want to make it so that it is transparent for now. That way I have it, but I know I can work without it. Then I can work with this. So in here should be the Akrich plane somewhere. If it came in. It takes a while for things to update, it appears. Search. It's not alphabetical. That is true. And it needs the full name, it would seem. So maybe we go to my packages now. Maybe it's come in. Hasn't yet. Let's check out the website. And let's see if we can see anything in here. There it is. All right, the Akrich Nursery plane is there. And so it should be showing up in here anytime soon. There it is. All right, let's drag it in. And bring it there. And then let's make it big. So if we go to the size or the scale and bring it up to 100 and then bring it here, should be much better. A much better scale. Okay, so we've been working on it with a really messed up, really messed up scale here that we need to fix. But that's much better. It's just going to take a while to put everything in order. Boy, were we dealing with a messed up bit here. So let's get... Yeah, that's not good. Let me save this. And let's continue. And you don't really want to see me have to go through all of this. I'm going to have to mess. And get everything, except the buildings are lined up finally, properly. I think everything is locked. So I got to go to my lock. I got to unlock things. If it'll let me. Yeah. Well, let's see. This is going to be much better. Should have gone with a better image to begin with. This may need to be shrunken down a little bit. But it is going to work a lot better. So we are learning. Let me put that staircase, solar panels. You can go and click on things and then find the whole model and then move it over. Oh no, it didn't work. then click off it maybe, and then click on solar panels, yes. And then move those solar panels over. I think our snap to parts is interfering here, so turn that off. Put that like that. Our staircase is that folder. And we can do that again. This greenhouse needs to be rotated. And I guess everything, all the plants are going to have to be put in too because they weren't grouped. So that's going to be a bit of a mess. If we can even get inside that greenhouse. This is going to be so much better in the long run. I don't know why I was working with a messed up map and thinking I couldn't get a better map. I wasn't paying enough attention, I guess. The wall, of course, is going to have to be moved. Rotated first of all. And then moved. And imagine the distortion that we were facing before. Alright, we don't need to watch me do all this. I've showed how we can bring in stuff using Blender and using the upload to Roblox, and that was the purpose of this. And now that we've shown that we need to line everything up for easy use and keep things centered, we're in much better shape than we were when we began this process. So when I redo these videos and actually turn them from blunders into Blender into tutorials, it'll be smooth sailing. But this is what I like to do. I like to record myself as I blunder through figuring things out, so I see exactly where I messed up, and then ultimately write a script and make it proper tutorial video that can help people once I've learned all the pitfalls. But I'm generally doing stuff completely on my own and without learning. I start by deciding I want to make a project and I need to learn these certain tools to do it, rather than learning the tools and then doing a project. I start from complete scratch with an idea of what I want to do, and then I learn along the way. So I hope that's helpful to you in some way. Bye-bye.